Hi, my name is Muhseneen. I'm one of the members of the new Professional and Student Committee of NCPH. I am a fourth-year PhD candidate in the History Department at University of South Florida in Tampa. I study public memory and commemoration of mass violence. I guess I'm going to talk about the tips and tricks for applying to grad school from my personal experience. I am an international student here, I guess my experience could be a little different than other applicants. So, the first thing that you're gonna do for applying to grad school is finding the right school and finding the right program. It sounds easy, but it will make things a lot easier in the long run. For example, it can depend on the location or the funding and then type of research that is happening in the department at that moment of application. So I would suggest the easiest way to do this is going through the university websites. So for example, go through the program's website, find out in the faculty list what the professors are working on and what the current students are working on. And in this earlier stage of figuring out what program and what school is good for you, I would suggest that reach out to people. So don't be afraid to send an email to a professor or a current student or maybe even the grad director. Send an email, and if you have any confusion, just ask them the question, and if they're interested in taking new students. That's what I did. So what I did was I reached out to different professors who work on topics that are related to my research. So I did that, and then I made a list of the schools and the programs that I would want to apply, and I started from there. So once you know what programs you like for the application, make sure you have everything organized. You have a proper list of the application materials that they're asking for. For example, schools, they want a statement of purpose and then writing sample, CV, and some universities, they also ask for a diversity statement and then a language proficiency test. For example, I had to do that because English is my second language, and I had to take the IELTS exam and then a letter of recommendation. So let's walk through what these materials are and how to organize them, or how to properly organize them in a way that you have everything together during the application process. So for the statement of purpose, one thing I learned from my experience is that don't use the same statement of purpose for every school, because your purpose, that is one of the, your SOP is one of the most important document the schools and the programs will go through to make sure you are a right fit for the program. So write those according to what you want to do. Be your true self. At the same time, figure out what the school is doing at this moment, what type of research they are focusing on, and how you add into their current programs, add into their current research that's going on. So be authentic, write your goals and what you want to do, what you want to gain from this program, and how you would add to into the program, into the university. And then writing sample. So with if you already have a master's degree, maybe your thesis that can be so again, like, go through the university websites, what they're asking for. Some schools, some programs, they will give you like a word limit, word count for how many pages or how many words they're looking for in the writing sample. Again, it becomes easier if you already have a professor in your mind that you want to work with, and they have seen your work. It can be easier in that way. So make sure you know what they are asking for, and maybe make little changes fitting to their requirement, or be like trust your best work. Like what you find is your best work, use that as the right example. For example, if you have something published already, that's a really great thing for grad schools. And if you, even if you are not published, maybe you have something prepared, you're thinking of publishing it, send that. Like the writing sample should be the one thing that you know that if I have enough time, if I have all the time in the world and all the resources, this is the best thing that I will do. So that should reflect in your writing sample. So again, make sure you go through the websites and figure out what they are asking. And then your CV. So for PhD applications, make sure your research is focused in your, like highlighted in your CV. So make sure you are including all the research projects you have done. For example, I work in with a lot of oral history. So I have when I was applying, what I highlighted was that I have I took these trainings, I participated in these oral history programs, I have talked with people in these and these languages. So what's your strength? Try to highlight that in your CV, especially if you're applying for research, for example, PhD programs. So apply in your CV during application, make sure you're highlighting your research, and then any publication if you have, conference presentations and degree works. What I found worked best for me is, rather than just listing the courses that I took, my personal experiences with research. So those helped me, rather than just, okay, I took all these courses. Rather than those, the research work that I did, those were helpful for me. So highlight those in your CV. And then comes the application fee. So again, like some schools, their application fees are like over $100, and then some schools, they offer like discounts. For example, the program that I'm in right now, I applied to this because at that moment I found through an advertisement that they had a discount in the application fee. So that kind of changed my course at that moment. So some schools, they will even offer preliminary programs, like sort of like Grad Fair. So if you are registered to those programs, and if you attend to those online programs, they will offer you partial discounts. So maybe pay attention to what they're advertising, the schools are advertising. And if you're tight on budget, make sure you have like good, I would say make sure you have good like chance, at least that you have some chance of getting accepted to the program. So apply to those schools. Like, don't just, if you're tight on budget, don't just apply to like 20 schools. Make sure you have at least some understanding of what the program is asking for, and then if you fit into those programs, then apply to those. And then some schools, so funding, graduate assistantship or teaching assistantship. So for those, this can happen in two ways. For example, some schools, some programs, they will ask for a separate application for your role as a GA or a TA during the application process. And in other schools, what will happen is that once you are accepted in the program, they will offer you that, okay, you have a funding of this sort, 80% or 100%, and then you will work as a TA or a GA. So again, like make sure you're familiar with what the program is offering, what they are posting on their department websites. So again, if you have questions, do not be afraid to reach out to grad directors. Like they will be really happy to answer your any questions or any concerns. So if those schools, the schools that ask for application for GA and TA, make sure you do that at that moment. And if it's once you are accepted, you can do that later. And then choosing advisor. This is one of the most important thing you can do for your to make your a master's or your PhD journey easier, and even for the next few years as a new professional. So I would say, first of all, again, like reach out to people. So find the faculties that work on similar topics, reach out to them, ask them if they want to supervise you, like if they would be willing to work with you if you get accepted. And if they agree, if they say that yes, I will be happy to work with you if you get accepted, mention that in the statement of purpose. That is very, very important. If the statement of purpose has the information that you have reached out to a faculty and they have like given you a positive response that they would like to work with you, that will be a really great point, really strength, a really good strong point in your SOP. So again, this depends on the programs. Some schools, they will assign you, I think it's most schools, they will assign you the supervisor, especially in the PhD, once you are at least you have completed the first 2 semesters. So it can be that from the first moment, from the first day, you know who is your supervisor, or it could change. It could be like 1 year of completing your courses. Now you are more familiar with the professors, so now you want to choose your supervisor. But again, do try to choose someone who you are comfortable to work with. If you're completely scared of the professor, or if you don't have a good relation, it will not work. It will be really hard to communicate. So find out the professors who are willing to help you, and then talk to senior students, like senior grad students of that department, and they will be able to provide you, they will be able to share the real information, like how is this professor, like are they helpful, or do they just do the minimal work. So make sure you know about them and their work before you reach out to them to be your supervisor. So I guess that's some of the tips and tricks that I have from my personal experience. And one thing, because I was an international student, international applicant, so I had to jump through a few extra hoops, for example, figuring out visa. So that can be stressful, but if you have a full funding and a GA ship, normally getting a visa is not that tough. But organizing all those documents, collecting them, and like your bank statement, your tie to your country, like all those could be a little stressful, but again, these are all doable. So I guess that's all I have for now, and good luck.